Gotta love when news breaks minutes before the show starts. We'll get to that in just a moment. It is a live show every day, all year round.
No, they haven't. Scott, they haven't named the Pope yet, so we don't have to talk about that. But
we do know patiently. That there is.
We're waiting patiently. There is a new one. There was white smoke today. No black smoke. Okay. White smoke.
I'm going to rely on you to report when we get the name. You have to say it and pronounce it correctly. Thank you. Yes. You are a Pope expert on the show today. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on me to name the Pope if they ever get to it. Because honestly, I've been watching this thing for like 45, 50 minutes, and it's just a lot of pomp and circumstance, which is cool. Tradition is cool and all, and everything. But I mean, let's get this Pope guy out here.
TV networks are loving it because they get to go, maybe we'll get a name when we come back after you watch 3 minutes of commercials. Hey, I'm not going to hate on commercials. They pay the bills for everyone, including us. Yes, exactly. Before we begin, AJ, you were just named Dork of the Week on Fair Territory. We talked about it a couple days ago, but it actually did happen. Fair Territory just completed. If you want to check it out after our show, go for it. But any quick reply? I know you caught some of it.
Well, first of all, Ken, I find it extremely unprofessional, and I think Ken's going to join us here in a minute, that he showed text messages that I sent in a private chat. I feel like there's a lawsuit somewhere involved in that maybe I could sue Ken for a bow tie or something. I don't know. I feel like, listen, Ken's just mad because his rain delay was 3+ hours, and we were done with a 57-minute rain delay before, we were done. They were just starting. It was perfect for Fox. We went from Kansas City at Baltimore, right into Dodgers at Braves. It was like the perfect segue. They got home at 1:30. I was sleeping by the time, I was long since asleep by the time they got on the air.
Fair trade-off, Kratz, I think, instead of the lawsuit settlement with the bow tie, is Ken wearing a backwards hat at some point in life and taking a photo for us.
I have a picture of Ken and Grimace, so that's the only photo I need. This is between AJ and Ken. I'm sitting my non-Fox face out of this.
Fair. Okay.
Ken can make it up to me this weekend. I am going to see him in New York, but we all know that Ken's wallet has never been seen, so we don't have to worry about it. It's fine.
The alligator arm battle is on.
Oh, man. What's that? Oh, I can't get down there. I can't get to my pocket.
Ken's going to join us in a couple minutes, but let's chime in on this topic first on our side. Breaking news. Obviously, we love breaking news on this show. You don't love when someone loses their job. And this is actually a guy who is very well respected, a super nice guy in the game. Derek Shelton, the manager of the Pirates for about 5 years now, has been let go by the team. The team sucks. They're 12-26 to start the year. They did nothing in the offseason, just like they always do. They lost Jair Jurrjens to start the season, so they haven't seen him yet. They're in shambles, AJ, in a variety of ways right now, and he's just the fall guy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not Derek Shelton's fault. It's not Derek Shelton's fault they didn't bring in any offense this offseason. They didn't go out and try to, with Skeens and Keller, and I know Jair Jurrjens is hurt, and then Chandler coming, but, it's not his fault. He did the best he could. I mean, listen, I've known Derek Shelton for a really long time, from back when he was a hitting coach forever ago. So he's had a great run. He'll get another job. He's well-liked in baseball, and he'll find another job. Will he be a manager again anytime soon? I don't know, but it's not Derek Shelton's fault. I know they fired him, but, listen, I love Don Kelly too. I love Don Kelly. I played against Don Kelly for a long time. He's kind of the next guy in waiting. They had him sitting there. They're trying a different voice. I mean, are the Pirates going to the playoffs, Scott Kratz? Probably not.
No, they're not. And that's not Derek Shelton's fault. That's not going to be Don Kelly's fault, who I also think is going to be a great manager. But unlike some of the managers that just recently got fired in the last year, Derek Shelton should get another managerial job. And this time it'll be a job that's not like a tryout job. Because the Pirates essentially said, hey, we want you to make apple juice, but we're going to give you a bunch of lemons. Go at it. To me, the way that you grade how Derek Shelton did, ask the players what they thought of him. Ask the players what it was like for them to come to the park. Ask players who have improved under him how he is as a manager. And to me, that's his resume, not the record that Bob Nutting refused to try to improve for his manager.
Yeah, let's be real. Most people were looking at this team not expecting much, and that's what we're getting. So let's get more here from our FT senior insider, Ken Rosenthal, fresh off of fair territory, but more time to digest the news. Ken, I'm assuming you're not surprised, but what do you think about what's been a disaster start to the year for the organization? I'm going to say that, not just the product on the field.
Not at all surprised by this. And while everything AJ and Erik just said is true about Derek Shelton, they were in classic fire the manager territory. They're 12-26. There seems to be a malaise about them. Is it his fault? As AJ said, it's absolutely not his fault. This problem that they have goes so much deeper. It goes to the general manager who has not done enough with limited resources, and it goes to the owner who continually provides limited resources. And I just pointed this out on fair territory. There are teams in similar financial circumstances. Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, Cleveland. You can even put the A's in that situation right now, or that category. They seem to find a way. They seem to come up with players. They seem to just keep it going in a competitive sense. The A's are new to this, relatively speaking. They're just getting competitive now. But those other three teams, Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Tampa Bay, they're pretty good year after year. If you're the Pittsburgh Pirates, why can't you do that? Now, they don't spend enough, no question. Their offseason was dismal, in my opinion. And then they had injuries on top of that. Spencer Horwitz, their main acquisition, has been out the whole year. But they need to do better. They need to find players. They need to develop players. They need to put together a greater depth of talent than they have. And right now, what's going to happen is the scrutiny is now going to go to Ben Cherington, as it should, in fairness. I just don't know the answers there when the owner is ultimately the biggest problem.
The 5-year plan for Ben Cherington is obviously at the end, and you just mentioned it. Is it unprecedented to think, well, you know what? This guy's done it. He's done it in a sense that you haven't heard any peeps from Ben Cherington saying, well, you know, I haven't really gotten anything. It's been positive. We're pushing in the right direction. That he gets another 5-year plan under Bob Nutting?
I would be shocked if he got another 5 years. And I don't know what his contractual situation is exactly, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is year 6 of this regime, the Shelton regime. Nutting, for the past 2 off seasons, has raised expectations, has said he expects more. So from that perspective, too, this is not surprising. But at some point, this does fall on the general manager. And then when it falls on the general manager, which it almost inevitably will here, you ask the question, okay, how does this get better? Hard to imagine it's getting better under this owner. And then you're talking about, well, why not sell the team? A lot of people in Pittsburgh want him to sell the team. A lot of people in baseball, I imagine, want him to sell the team because he is not putting out a competitive product. And they can talk about their investment in infrastructure. This is what low revenue teams always do. We're spending in the minors. We're spending on that's fine. There's a major league team too. That's the main product, and that's the product that you have to figure out a way to make competitive.
Ken, you mentioned the Rays and the Guardians and the A's. They have good players, though. They have good players, and they go out and they do supplement him with other good players, right? The Guardians, they went out, they couldn't keep Naylor, so they went out and got Carlos Santana, and they're always making moves to try to get better, and they do sign some free agents. Like they brought back Shane Bieber, right? They brought in Alex Cobb last year to try to help. And they do make some moves. So to me, it's apples and oranges because the Pirates, I mean, Tommy Pham, okay, we love Tommy, right? But he's not taking your team to the next level along with what you already have, right? The A's spent money, right? The A's spent money. Like, so to me, this is a complete failure from top to bottom of development. And they've developed some pitchers. We'll give them that, right? But some of their position players haven't done what they thought. O'Neal Cruz comes to mind, right? Why was he not in center field in the minor leagues? So when he gets there, he doesn't have to learn that. So to me, this is just, it's hard to say like, oh, we're going to compare him to this team or that team because this is a different animal. You know, talk about the Rays. The Rays develop, right? So
AJ, here's where the comparison is valid. The comparison is valid because their financial resources are similar. And those teams that you just said make more with less in a way that the Pirates do not. So when a manager is fired, it's an organizational failure. Let's not mistake that. It is an organizational failure when the manager gets fired. And that's true for a big market team or a small market team. It's never just on the manager. But while you're right in saying, yes, those teams spend more money, from a payroll perspective, it's not that dramatic a difference. It's not the Dodgers and the Marlins. And Milwaukee didn't do much this offseason. They seem to find a way to keep it going. Tampa Bay, they signed a guy that hasn't even played yet, Kim, and that was their big expenditure. So you're right. Those teams are more aggressive in the way they go about it, but there's still no excuse for the Pirates to be this far behind those clubs.
So, Ken, Don Kelly takes over as interim manager for the Pirates. And unless there is some miraculous run that he's able to figure out with the same roster, probably going to be sellers at the trade deadline. So how do you see the next month or two playing out for Pittsburgh, assuming that it doesn't get that much better and they're not, I don't know, the Tigers of the second half of the year, because it's not the same talent?
It's interesting, Scott. I was just talking to a general manager this morning, and he said, you know what? The Pirates are a team, you can't look at them like the Marlins and Rockies, because come the second half of the season, if they get Bubba Chandler in the rotation, if Jared Jones gets healthy, and they get some of their offensive players back, Horwitz, kind of Falefa, etc., they'll be a more competitive, kind of pesky team. That, I would imagine, is still their idea in making this change. They want to be better, but at the deadline, sure, they will be sellers. And Andrew Heaney, I would imagine, if he keeps pitching well, will be someone who is attractive. Maybe one of their relievers. It's not like that's been a strength for them. So, yeah, they're sellers, but what are they selling? Are they going to sell Cabrian Hayes or Brian Reynolds or one of those guys? Are they going to sell Paul Skeens? I don't see that happening. So they're in a really interesting and difficult spot because there's not much they can do to improve in that sense. What they need to do, obviously, is draft better, develop better, spend more money. I mean, all of these things. Again, organizational failure.
Okay, Ken, before we get into a different subject, I got a couple things. One, why not just keep Derek Shelton until those guys get there and then see what he can do with the full team? But that's not
okay. No, AJ, let me answer that. I think in this situation, Derek Shelton seemed to be out of answers. And every night they were talking about, we just need to be more consistent and better. Yes, all true. But what they're looking for with Kelly is a spark and a new voice. You see this all the time in the game with hitting coaches, sometimes pitching coaches, often managers. That's all they're looking for here. And again, it's not his fault. I can see the argument for keeping him, but they needed to change something. And this is the first change. I don't expect it will be the last.
Okay, and then let me go to the league-wide question of this, Ken. Is this the first domino to fall? Because we've heard about other managers. You've talked about other managers on the hot seat. One team's done it, and it's a copycat league. Is other teams that are managers might be on that seat? Does this make it easier for them to make a change?
It shouldn't have any effect on any other team. Every team is its own organism. But you're right, AJ. That often does happen. In fact, I often tell the story of when my son was born in 1991, the first 3 days of his life, a manager was fired. It's Cubs, Royals, and then the Orioles. And I was covering the Orioles at the time. And of course, I had to work 2 days after my son was born. But yes, these things do tend to run in waves, and they often take place around this time of the year when the season is getting a little bit more deeper or getting deeper into the season. And this is a little early, maybe. We're about 23% in, usually at the 45% mark or halfway, not halfway, but even before that, things will happen. I would not be surprised to see other managers get fired. Two guys that I thought would be in trouble, Rocco Baldelli and Brandon Hyde. Hyde still could be, I guess, because they can't get out of their own way, but that is purely a question of their rotation not being able to get them any kind of quality at all. Baldelli, his team's playing better, and that's a good sign for the Twins. They're healthy again. So I don't necessarily see either of those happening, but yes, these things do tend to run in waves.
Okay, Ken. Now my last thing. I know I was dork of the week, and that's fine. I deserve it. But do you retain a lawyer? Do you have a lawyer on retainer? Because there could be a lawsuit incoming for you showing text messages that were sent privately amongst people, and then you showing them on the air. That is not legal, Ken. So there could be a lawsuit coming your way. Just be prepared.
I am married to an attorney. I am the son of an attorney. Bring it on.
Oh.
Hey!
Okay.
I like that.
I live in Orlando, and we
let's
have
do it on
Morgan
air.
in Oregon. We have Morgan and Morgan, and they're for the people, Ken, okay?
Good
AJ, I
luck.
would say those texts were pretty innocuous. Revealing, but innocuous.
Whatever that means, Ken. But I'm just mad because you're jealous that we had an hour rain delay and we're still done before you guys went on the air. So I understand you're
All right,
upset.
hold on a
I
second.
understand.
For those who weren't watching our show, here's what happened. AJ is doing the Royals-Orioles game last week.
Wait, Ken, there's a new pope. Wait, there's a new pope, Ken. Wait, we'll finish this later. Wait, what?
All right, go
Hey,
get the Pope.
No.
No,
I
go
want to
ahead,
hear it,
Ken.
Ken. I
All
want
right,
to
so
hear
what
it.
happened was AJ starts a text chain. And at that point, we're in a rain delay, and the Orioles-Royals game that he is doing is not. And AJ says in the text chain, hey, guys, watch and learn, see how it's done. Because, of course, we're not going to be on the air. He's going to be on the air, commanding the entire country. Within minutes, his game went into a rain delay, and I said, the baseball gods got you, buddy. And that's why AJ is Dork of the Week.
No, they didn't get me because I would send you a picture. I was home in bed and you guys were doing the open. Ken hadn't even gone on the air. And I was like, check out my PJs, Ken, because you guys aren't even on the air and I'm in bed with my feet up.
Well, that was true. We had a 3-hour rain delay. Very true.
These are all real things, and you get to see inside the life of AJ and Ken, including text messages, which I'm a fan of. So I would be rooting in Ken's favor if I'm the jury during this epic court case that we're going to have someday on Foul Territory with all of our families involved. All right, Ken, thank you. We'll talk to you later.
We got USA. By the way, USA. The new Pope is American. So USA, baby.
Cool. Well, thanks for the breaking news, AJ. I appreciate it.
Yes. Full-fledged, full-circle, full-service show. Thank you, Ken.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you. All right, FT fam, we'll be right back. We're talking to Keith McPherson about the Yankees and the Mets. FT fan, by now, you know if you're buying, selling, trading, collecting cards, Arena Club is the spot. We've been talking about them all season long, but I do want to focus on the slab pack experience, Kratz, since you've been ripping some slab packs digitally. And what happens?
I mean, as a kid, you wanted to rip open the packs. How can they do this digitally? Oh, baby. This is exciting. How the graphics come out and everything. And, oh, yeah, the card that you pull, you can actually get that, John, physically. So it's perfect. It's all in one place, and it's a super exciting experience.
Yeah, they send that to you from the vault if you want it. But if you look at it and you're like, it's not the card for me, I want to sell it back, go for it. You can do any of that on Arena Club, and you can acquire the best value for your money with those slab packs, transparent checklists, and Arena Club's Slab Safe program. Right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/foul and use code FOUL. arenaclub.com/foul, use code FOUL. Yeah, let's spend 2 more minutes on the Pirates. Kratz, I hate on them pretty good since this show has existed. And we all know the root of the problem. So at some point, it does feel like you're beating a dead horse. But you can't change the owner. That's not going to change most likely for a while. Then you have to look down. And for me, the failure's on Ben Cherington, right? I mean, other teams are able to put this together. The manager's not winning them an extra 10, 15, 20 games to get them into the playoffs.
No. And the next GM has to come in and be willing to maybe even change the culture of the coaching staff. Not the people, just the culture of it in the minor leagues. Not in the big leagues, in the minor leagues, because they clearly have to do it from within and produce not just pitchers. They had a wave of position players that came through, and that was the core of that playoff run. They had a few pitchers smattered in there. It has to be everybody. They can't make missteps. And when you're a GM, you're the one that's going to have to take the blame. Yeah, you didn't get any money. It's not your fault.
AJ, I meant it. I've watched probably 8 to 10 Pirates games this year, a good chunk of them, right? Because you got to spread it out. They suck.
Well, they're not the worst team in the league, but they're not any good either. But yeah, I mean, Paul Skeens already has 4 losses. He only had 3 last year, and a lot of them, his numbers aren't that. They're still has great numbers, but they don't score any runs. So I just don't know what you expect out of the manager to do if you just, there's an old saying, you can't make chicken salad out of chicken something else. And that's kind of, it's just, It sucks for Shelty because he's a great dude.
He'll thrive
Chicken
elsewhere.
feathers. Chicken feet. What is it?
Chicken poo for the Pirate. Hey, we've got our dude from WFAN, Keith McPherson, joining us right now. We'll do a little Yankees and Mets report. Yeah, he looks fired up today. All right, well, you know what? I want to go Yankees first with you, Keith, because I know there's pros and cons which we can get into with the ball club, but I'm going to start really, really positive. How nasty is Max Fried to watch and unpredictable for hitters?
First off, thanks for reaching out. Thanks for bringing me back, guys. I was in there last night. I was in there Friday. Fried day on a Friday. Like, Fried day is the new Cole day now. We all miss Garrett Cole, but like when this guy is on the mound, there's 42,000 plus people in there last night. I think there was like 46 on Friday. We just know what time it is, right? We know this guy's going to shove. We know we're watching a master at work. We know we're going to win. We haven't lost a game with him on the mound. It's like a level of confidence that the team carries and the fans carry. And, shout out to Brian Cashman for, the first pivot move being to go sign Max Fried.
Yeah, but is he supplanted Garrett Cole? Let's say he wins a Cy Young this year. Let's say he wins a Cy Young. Garrett Cole did what he has done, what he's done. Next year, opening day, who do the Yankees fans want?
You can't supplant Garrett Cole until you do something in the postseason. I'm just saying this is a good fill-in right now. This is like, if we didn't have this guy right now, I guess we'd have Carlos Rodon, who's been solid his last few starts. But like, it's a pleasant surprise. I wouldn't even say it's a surprise because we knew Max Fried was him. We knew he was like that. But man, when Cole went down, the value of going out and signing this guy went up. And to see how he has taken on the pinstripes are not heavy for him. I'm loving it. I'm literally like, every time he pitches at Yankee Stadium, I'm going to those games. I'm not ducking his starts.
What do you see different from him that you don't see from, or you wish, Carlos Rodon would pick up? You wish that some of the younger pitchers would pick up from Max Fried?
I think Rodon has. I see them talking a lot in the dugout. I think Carlos Rodon has picked up some of his command, his calmness, his confidence on the mound. Like, when you're the guy on the bump, like, everybody's waiting on you. A lot of times we saw Carlos Rodon like get overwhelmed by little things, whether it was a strike that gets called a ball, or weather, or the mound, or even fans heckling, booing. I think with Fried, he is just a slow heartbeat guy, and he never gets rattled. And obviously he's got so many pitches, and he just like gets guys off balance, and he's in complete control. I think a young guy like Will Warren can learn a lot from him. Clark Schmidt is another guy that has a few different pitches in his arsenal that I think is probably going to benefit from being around Max Fried. He's setting the table for the whole rotation.
All right, Keith, enough about Max Fried. I mean, you were at the game last night. Dylan Cease was dealing, okay? Cody Bellinger hit the home run. But as a Yankee fan, this is what I want to know. Do you guys all owe Trent Grisham an apology? Feel free to apologize to him right here, because there was a lot of boos and get him off the team, and now he's got the crazy mustache, and he's just hitting homers every time.
Let me explain, right? Because the same fans that were chanting, "We want Weaver" with Devin Williams on the mound a couple Fridays ago when we played the Blue Jays, we eat our own in New York. It just is what it is. It's the hardest place to play because fans are ridiculous. They want everyone to be perfect, and baseball is a sport of failure. You're not going to be perfect. No, I don't care who you are. Now, with Trent Grisham last year, the "We want Soto" chants came because it was the Dodgers series. They sat Soto, and Grisham was glued to the bench all year. We didn't really get to see what Trent Grisham was. Aaron Boone has already said, I should have gave him some more run last year. Honestly, I was screaming for him to get some run over Verdugo, but they specifically wanted to keep him in center field. So, I mean, we love this guy now. I nicknamed him the Bashful Basher because he hits his home runs and then he doesn't watch them. He looks away. It's almost like he's ashamed of like, what have I done? Trent Grisham, we love this guy. And he's the starting center fielder. He's become the leadoff hitter. And now we have good problems with Belly, with Jason Dominguez, and obviously Judge out there in the outfield. So don't get it twisted. It's not all of us, especially me coming out of the bleachers. The bleacher creatures, we chant the players' names during the roll call. After that, it's Yankees baseball. We are rooting for the laundry. We are never rooting against our guys. But there are some fans, they pay a lot of money. They sit close to the field where the players can hear them behind the dugout, and they wear them out. So, yeah, some of those guys have to apologize. I don't have to apologize. I was never on that.
Okay. Was it the best backflip you've ever seen last night? Because that was pretty cool. He flipped the bat, caught it, and then flipped it again. So is that 2 bat flips, or does that count as 1 bat flip?
I was in there. I didn't see it live. I did see it on a replay.
You were watching the Knicks. All right, so we'll get to that. But you weren't even watching the game. You were watching the Knicks.
I was doing both. I had to watch the Knicks. I'm on the radio at night. So when I leave the stadium and go to host WFAN, there's 100 calls for the Knicks. I can't be like, I missed the Mitchell Robinson hack a Mitch taking him out. But anyway, Trent Grisham with that pinch hit. I wish I bet it in real time. I wish I live bet it, because that's exactly what we were looking for. That's what we needed. And you mentioned Dylan Cease. Like, I was in there stressed. Honestly, watching the Knick game was keeping my mind off the fact that we were getting no hit. I'm like, I'm just watch this game. I'm going to act like we're not getting no hit right now. Belly breaks it open. And then Trent Grisham just being ready when you call his number. He's a slow heartbeat guy. He's a guy that, like, he doesn't have much emotion, and you need that in New York. You can't get too high. You can't get too low.
Dylan Cease completes that no-hitter last night. Are we then on the Dylan Cease is a Yankee in 2026? Yo, we got to get this guy for sure.
The world may never know. He didn't complete it. I don't know about that. I will say this. There are Yankee fans that were pleading for us to trade for this guy. Obviously, when Cole went down again, it's like, who's out there? Who's out there? And Yankees Twitter is the strongest Twitter fan base in all of sports. So there are voices and things coming from all over the place. And Dylan Cease was definitely a guy that we wanted. And I even heard some chirping last night in my section, like, see? And I mean, his ERA is up. He hasn't had the ace-like year, but he was shoving last night. And fans were definitely like, see, this is a guy we should get. Cashman should be on the phone tonight.
Yeah, like the Padres will just get rid of one of their healthy pitchers. But anyway, don't worry about that. Who's more polarizing right now? Juan Soto, kind of like having a down year and like, 2 homers. Now he's starting to go oppo a little bit. Or Aaron Judge, just whack, dinger, whack, base hit, hitting 400.
Oh, it's Juan Soto. I mean, Judge, and we'll get to Judge in a minute, because Judge is kind of last night. I actually don't even want to speak on it. I'm just act like it didn't happen. But Juan Soto, I've been on air saying I don't think Juan Soto realized what he did going from Yankees to Mets. Even though he wasn't a homegrown Yankee, he was here for a year, went to a World Series, and he left to go across town. Like, these fans are insane. These people hate you now. You're a villain. So there are Yankee fans hate watching Juan Soto. And when I mean hate watching, like, they're rooting for him to fail. And I'm not going to lie, as a Yankee fan, am I pleased that he's not putting up the numbers so far in the first 6 weeks of the season that he did last year with the Yankees? Yeah, I'm enjoying it. But I know who he is. I watched all of his at-bats last year. I got to meet the guy last year. Like, I put some bets on him last year. And I've been saying to folks on WFAN, like, that are Mets fans that are getting frustrated. And a lot of the frustration comes from, the Yankee fans saying, he's overrated, he's overpaid, his best days are behind him. He'll never have the year that he had like he did last year hitting in front of Judge. They're getting impatient, but I'm like, this dude is one of the most proven hitters in the game. It is only a matter of time until he gets hot. So he had the 2-homer game last week. And they lost the game. He had the 2-homer game yesterday. And I'm like, there he is. Yep. There. I'm like, that's what he's going to do. Now, just wait and be patient. There's obviously an adjustment here. He's got more money than he's ever had. He's on a different team. He's got different teammates. Life has completely changed. But that guy in the batter's box is one of one. So he's polarizing because of the rivalry here in the city, but it's great. It's added so much juice. I cannot wait for the Subway Series on Friday. Like, I cannot wait. I like through the week. I will be at Yankee Stadium probably 3-4 p.m. on Friday. Gonna be nuts.
Wait, what was the Judge thing? What was the Judge thing you didn't want to touch on?
Judge is just the greatest hitter we've ever seen.
He's hitting 400. That he's hitting 400. I mean, what can you say about him?
He's a video game. He's unreal. He's breaking baseball. He's doing things we haven't seen. But his on base streak ended last night, and he dropped a pop up last night, and like
That was a
it
tough
wasn't a
catch.
pop up.
Keith,
Yeah,
come
I
on,
say I
that was
won't
a
call it
tough
a pop up.
catch. That wasn't the
But you
World
know how
Series
many
Game 5.
people.
That
You know
wasn't
how
World
many
Series
people are
Game 5. Come on.
exactly. You know how many people, as soon as he doesn't make a play like that, are saying, "Drop the pop up in the World Series. Here we go again." But look, we didn't necessarily need Judge last night. So many other players stepped up, from Belly to Grisham to Oswaldo Cabrera to Devin Williams, who's been polarizing himself, and JC Escara, and the whole team. It was a team victory last night, and they had to get that one because we should have swept the Padres, but they had to get that one last night to take the series from a good Padres team.
All right, let's go to the Knicks. Did you cheer louder from when the Knicks fouled Jason Tatum and stole the ball away, or when Trent Grisham hit the home run, or when Escara got the hit to win the game, or drove in the winning run? Sorry.
So, like, I'm from Jersey. I'm not a Knicks fan. It's not a secret. I'm a Nets fan, but I'm a New Yorker, and I've been up here for so long. I just understand, like, the Knicks being good is more rare than the Mets being good. Like, and the Knicks unite the city. It's one team that's been in the middle of Manhattan for 100 years, and it's been passed on generation to generation, and they were terrible for so long. So, like, for them to have this run, like, I was seeing it in my section. I'm watching. There's a guy behind me who's a little bit ahead. There's people wearing Knicks gear. Like, as that game got closer and, like, the Celtics could not score and the Knicks take the lead, it was euphoria for people. Like, the stadium started to get loud. We actually went down in the game, in the Yankee game. So, like, it was odd because the fans are cheering. The fans start chanting, "Let's go Knicks." The Yankees are down 3-1. But, like, I wasn't cheering for the Knicks. I'm just doing my job as the nighttime host that's going to be on air 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. talking to all the fans. I cheered when Belly hit the home run, when Grisham hit the home run, and then when Devin Williams came in the game. Like, I got to drive downtown to the station. When he came out of that gate, I heard the sounds of the fans, and I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. I couldn't stand to watch. I couldn't stand to watch it live. I'm like, I'll listen to Dave and Susan call it in the car. I got to be on my way anyway. The traffic was building. Some people were leaving. Some people left that game after the 7th inning, the 8th inning. But I always have to be mindful of the traffic because I play that game where, like, I'm in the Bronx and then I got to get downtown. So yeah, I didn't cheer for Brunson or Bridges or any of that. I was yelling and screaming for the Yankee game that I was physically at.
Keith, let's finish with this. I need your best perspective on how wild the Soto reception is going to be for the Subway Series. Like, what is going to happen? How nuts is it going to get?
So I was in there for the Astros series. I led the roll call for the Astros series in 2022, and it was insane. And, like, when the roll call starts, you got to try to get everybody to come down a bit. But there's boos, there's "Let's Go Yankees" chants, there's people clapping, and, like, you just need everybody to come down to get that first call and then get the chant started. Shout out to Mark, who leads the roll call. He's going to need some backup. He's going to need some help because this is going to be a raucous environment, and there's going to be Met fans in the section. And, like, on my radio station, WFAN, Tiki Barber has called for everybody to just turn their backs to Juan Soto. It's not going to happen. No, like, they're going to be. It's on a Friday now, right? For the last few years, they made it Tuesday and Wednesday. In 2021, it was a weekend series. That weekend series of 9/11 weekend in 2021 was the best baseball environment I had been in that whole season because it's all of New York. It's "Let's go Yankees, let's go Mets, let's go Yankees." Like that, it's going to be dueling "Let's go" chants, boos, cheers when he comes out of the dugout. And now he's not coming out of the home dugout to right field. He's coming out of it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. The F. Juan Soto chant started a long time ago. They're selling those shirts. And, like, the Yankees are in first place. The Mets are in first place. It is going to be a collision course. It's going to be a legit movie. That's what I'm saying. Fast forward me to next Friday. I'm going to be in there. And I said, I don't know how I'm going to feel. Like, am I going to boo the guy? I don't know. Am I just going to be quiet? I think I'm going to probably boo. I think I'm probably going to be a booer. Yeah. I'll probably boo.
Yeah, and it's on a Friday, which also means BOOZE. More of that as well,
Yes.
which usually leads to
Hey, by the way,
more
I know
confident
you're
fans.
New Jersey, born and bred, New York this, New York that, blah, blah, blah. Go to a Cubs White Sox game when they're both good. It's way better. Just saying.
Crosstown Cup. I mean, I've been on both sides of the north side and the south side. I've never gone to one of those games. That's not my party, man. That's not. I don't have a place there. But I'll have to check one day, and it might not be one day soon. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, you got to wait till they're both good and they both try. Like you can't go in one or
where
both
the
bad.
Cubs
It's not as
are and
fun.
where the White Sox are. It's not really a rivalry. I can't wait for the Cubs to come this weekend to face the Mets. They got to step right up and greet the Mets, and I think that's going to be a really good series. I think when you look at what the Mets do at home in Citi Field, and you look at what the Cubs are like, that's going to be a battle before the Mets battle the Yankees. The Mets have a tough little run here.
Take it over.
Those are two good offenses. Exactly. Take the over. But yeah, next time White Sox Cubs is good is going to be a minute. I don't know if anybody can tell me when the White Sox are going to get
Nobody
back
thought
on track.
Chicago would get a Pope, but they got a Pope now. So you know what? That's the bigger question.
One thing at a time.
That's right.
Yep.
We're working our way up.
It's a good distraction for a few years or maybe many years until the White Sox figure it out because it's going to be a minute. Keith, thank you so much. Good to catch up, man.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Keep killing it. Talk soon.
Thank you. Talk soon. WFAN's Keith McPherson. Listen to him in New York, New Jersey, wherever in the tri-state area on the radio all the time. Trevor, I need caffeine every day. And for me, it's cold, not hot. So I go cold brew. I've been a Trade coffee customer for a long time now. I don't want to go to the grocery store and get the concentrate. Can you deliver me the kit, please?
Absolutely. Trade can do that for you. Who wants to get the concentrate at the store anyways? You don't even know when that stuff was made. When you can just set it, forget it at home, and have more cold brew coffee than you can ever hope for. I love doing that. It's a fun little activity also, and Trade allows you to do it.
Yes, they hook you up with the best beans specifically for cold brew from top roasters across the U.S. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S. for both hot and cold coffee drinkers. For a limited time, they're giving away free Harrio cold brewer when you sign up for a cold brew subscription when you go to drinktrade.com/foul. That's drinktrade.com/foul to get your free cold brew maker with select cold brew subscriptions. That's drinktrade.com/foul. Hey, we're back. Luis Castillo moves from the Mariners to the Orioles, but it's Luis F. Castillo. So there is your trade alert. The Mariners get money. The Orioles get an arm. And there were some discussions in the offseason, or at least rumors flying between these two teams, that maybe that deal could have happened for the really good Luis Castillo. I'm sure the Mariners are pretty glad that they didn't end up figuring something out because right now, AJ, they are humming. And I mean, this is a top 5 offense by most metrics at the moment. Ken Rosenthal led off fair territory talking about a Seattle team that's won, I think, 9 straight series in a row. First place in the AL West, off to an awesome start. All you got to do is sign Ratty Tellez and not put some weird plate appearance incentives around it and screw him over at the end of the season like the Pirates.
Mariners are doing it right now. Give them credit. And this move, I guess it helps the Orioles. They need more arms. They're beat up big time, but go Mariners.
Yeah, the Orioles are 13-22 now. They just dropped a couple here to the Twins. Another tough loss yesterday. It's getting late early. This is the prime example of, hey, you can lose a season this early in the season. You have a lot of ground to make up. The AL East in general, Kratz, is not in a great spot besides the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Everybody's going to look at the Astros. Oh, the Astros struggled last year. The Astros had 6 years of history of making the playoffs, making a bunch of World Series during that time. The O's don't have that.
Hot corner, let's sizzle. Okay, Kratz, you want to help us explain what happened in the Red Sox game yesterday? Alex Cora said that he was confused. The call, the runner safe at first, stood after they went to replay. This went semi-viral on Foul Territory's Twitter account. What did you see?
I saw a play that Tanner Houck didn't set his feet to throw. He tried to just launch it. Right here, the first baseman does not have control of the baseball. So being in the runner's lane, he becomes – it's interference. And if the runner is not able to touch first base, he is considered safe. Or else you would just have the first baseman stand in front of the base until he gets the ball. The guy would have to run around him or slow down. And so it's basically, I don't know the exact verbiage, but because he impeded his route to first base without having control of the ball, he's considered safe, even though he did not touch the base.
I mean,
they got it right.
You're right. What you said was right. I mean, because what Boston's arguing is he got the ball back and touched the base before Wyatt Langford was able to get there. And I think it was Wyatt. Yeah, it was Wyatt Langford that did it. But, Wyatt Langford should have just trucked him. But is this the problem with Boston's first baseman? They don't know what they're doing because they've never played over there, right? Like, it goes back to that. They got, I think it was Romy Gonzalez. He's really never played over there. So this is their first baseman. This is what they got. So, I mean, this is all goes back to that. I mean, they won the game and cost me my over-under, but that's fine.
Another thing for kids who are watching, if we show the replay again, the ball's on the ground. Don't pick the ball up with your glove. You have a first baseman's mitt especially. Pick it up with your bare hand. If he picks it up with his bare hand and his foot's on the base, he's trying to find it right. Yeah. Oh. So, yeah, it's part of it. But this isn't, I mean, it was Houck threw an absolute lawn dart to him, so that's not fair either. But actually, maybe it wasn't that bad. He was stretched inside the baseline there. Hey, everybody says, you know what? This guy struggles in the outfield. Move him to first. On this catcher's off day, just play him at first base. First base is, while it's not a very valued position from an analytics standpoint, you need to know how to play first base. It is not as simple as people think.
Yeah, even a week, if you spent a week and you watch Christian Walker play first base over the last 5 years, and then, for example, this season, you watch Tristan Casas play first base for a week, you can see how much of an impact it makes in a game where I don't know if numbers are doing the position justice, AJ. I mean, you're affecting every ground ball essentially in the infield. And I mean, if you watch a game, you're going to see multiple times often per game it make a huge difference, whether it's a pick, it's footwork, it's positioning, right? For your second baseman, how much ground you're covering. I mean, there are some guys that really stand out. It doesn't get a lot of love from the analytics staff. It's true, right? I know we had a big numbers discussion yesterday, but that's what I'm saying. I said, if you watch Walker versus
why do you
Casas,
think they signed Christian Walker versus Jose Abreu, who was there? Jose Abreu could hardly, when he was there at the end, he could barely even catch a ground ball, forget a ball in the dirt, right? I mean, the guys that can pick the ball are invaluable. You can't put we try to put a number on everything, but you can't put a value on guys that can pick the ball. I mean, until someone comes up with a stat that tells me, like, this guy's a better this or that at first base, they're going to be undervalued, and it's a shame because the guys that can really pick it and can hold down that place every day and hit should be worth a lot of money.
Outs above average, defensive runs saved are not kind to first baseman. Christian Walker has been the best for the last 3 years statistically, and he's already been eclipsed by the best position players at other positions. First base, the value for you is all in your range, and you're never supposed to go to your right if you have a second baseman that covers a lot of ground because you're always going to your left to cover first base. If they put a value, and I've seen teams that use data on balls thrown to you, that is where there's so much value. Yes, the one right here, super easy. You should catch it. But that's like docking a catcher who catches the ball right down the middle for a strike. Well, you know what? He didn't have anything to do with it. Technically, you do. And so then they created a value around the edges for first baseman, and that value goes through the roof when you have a guy that can get everything because you have so many throws thrown to you that it is a very undervalued thing to be able to catch the ball at first base on a consistent basis.
Why can't you run a guy over on that play?
You can.
He
He
could've.
can. He
It's
could
not
have.
against schools.
But he wasn't. I mean, Wyatt Langford's too nice. He should have went back to his Trenton high school football days and just smashed him. That would have been awesome. Could have had
Maybe
Florida
he would've
versus
taken him
Miami.
out.
We know who's going to win that fight.
You can run a catcher over still. Everyone says Buster Posey rule, blah, blah, blah. If the catcher is standing in the lane and he doesn't have the ball, even if he does have the ball, you can still run him over. You just cannot divert your path out of the base path to hit the catcher anymore. You can run him over. It's not a collision-free league. It is a almost collision-free league.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's collision free because they don't teach guys to go get guys anymore. So it's
So your
collision free.
mindset is different.
Your mindset is different. It used to be. I mean, I remember you knew the guys. They were coming around third. They were coming to get you, and that was fine. I knew it. Let's go. Come get some. Want some?
Part of the
Scott,
scouting
come
report.
get some.
Scott would not make it.
Me?
Yeah. You're trying to
You
run
know
one of us
Scott?
over. I'm sorry. It wouldn't work.
No, I mean, also, you still have to have a brain. I think when, the word now is avoidance, but it was collision back then. But, I mean, be smart about your collision. I mean, if you're trying to run into a huge dude and you don't have the momentum, you might want to think twice about what you're doing, right? Yeah, I'm going to think about who I'm trying to truck stick. So, no, I think there's something to it. But right now, to me, it means avoidance, right? Like, oh, someone's in the way. Let's avoid this, which the injury prevention part I get. We have enough injuries in the game. It's pretty annoying right now. So that part I understand, even if it's the aggressor that's running into a player and he's allowed to be running into that player and he gets hurt, it's like, damn, was that worth it? So I get that part, but still, I do miss a little bit of it. All right, let's swing back and talk to Logan O'Hoppe, Angels catcher, coming up next. It is complicated enough to figure out what type of car you want, but when it comes to pricing and best time to buy and all of that information that you're looking for, Car Gurus is the only destination that you should be thinking about, Kratz. Why?
Because I don't have to question what the price is. It's going to be there. If the price changes and comes down to where I want it to be, bang, I get a notification. Car Gurus is giving it to me straight, and this is how I want to purchase a car. Not fast. I just want to know what's going on.
With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more car listings than any other major online automotive marketplace in the U.S. So you can find the best deal, and it's no wonder SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. So you can buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com, cargurus.com. Hey, we didn't really get to this part, but thoughts on Don Kelly getting a chance to run the Pirates? You guys both know him, right?
Good for him.
I know him. Yeah, I know him very well. I'm super happy for him. He got one interview since he's become a manager. Since he's become a bench coach, he had gotten one interview. Why he didn't get any others? He was like, you know what? Maybe it's because I didn't put myself out there enough. They live in Pittsburgh. They're from Pitt. He married Neil Walker's sister. So there's that Pittsburgh royalty that they're there. And he's like, I'm so blessed to have the opportunity to be in Pittsburgh. Now he gets to be the manager. I would love to see Neil Walker be his bench coach. That would be sick.
He might get involved. I could see him being a coach someday. No, AJ, you don't think he'll ever coach?
He's on TV. He doesn't. Why would
I know he's on TV, but you could still hop from TV. Hey, Brett Boone just hopped from podcast world to hitting coach.
No, you can, but why would Neil Walker want to do that?
Not with this team. I mean, if you're tasked with trying to fix this offense, you're setting yourself up for a bad-looking resume right off the jump of your coaching career. It's true.
Fair.
It's not
coaches don't have any issues. Bench coaches, they never get the blame. It's the managers that get the blame.
And the hitting coaches.
And the paychecks.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're seconds away from getting Logan O'Hoppe on here to talk Angels. Here we go. Logan O'Hoppe joining us right now on FT. Logan, how you doing, dude? So, we haven't talked to you, obviously, since the Angels went through a tough stretch, but how are you doing personally through all of this?
Doing all right, thank you. Obviously, more learning moments than we anticipated to start the year, but no, doing okay. And yeah, I mean, good 2 wins the past couple nights, and looking to build on that going forward.
Yeah, you're doing all right. You're raking. I'm doing okay. Dude, you're raking. What are you talking about? It's okay. You can
I
self-brag
appreciate
a
it.
little. I'll self-promote
I
you a little bit,
appreciate it.
Logan. You're banging. You're
Thank
like
you.
leading the team in everything. I mean, let's
I
talk a little
appreciate
bit
it.
about that. Let's talk a little bit about some changes you made and dig in. Let me explain to me what you changed and why you're banging.
Well, I appreciate it. Really getting back to doing what had worked for me in the past and what felt comfortable is what's really helped. This off season, I don't have a hitting guy back home. I have a couple coaches that I talk to and bounce ideas off of, whether that's from back home or guys that I met coming up in the minor leagues or even here in the big leagues now. But I hit up my buddy that came with me. He came to feed the machine with me every day in the winter. His name's Kyle, and I texted him after, I forget what series it was, but a couple weeks ago, and I was like, hey man, just give me some thoughts on things we were talking about, because he would just go and feed the machine and listen, and I would bounce ideas off him, and shot me a text, and I realized, I was like, wow, this is completely different than what's going on in my head right now. So I got back to those things, the things I really wanted to maximize my strengths doing, and it's helped so far.
How much do you not want an off day when this kind of thing happens? I mean, you're in there catching and DHing. Do you go to the field ever going, man, like I'd rather hit up the catching duties tonight, but I guess it's okay that I'm DHing because I'm hot?
I want to be in the lineup every night, and I think everyone knows that too. I've been vocal about that in the past, and whether it's going well or bad, I want to be in there. It doesn't matter either way. Obviously, you're happy when you're playing better, and you're trying to learn and stay in the process when things aren't going well. But I want to play regardless. I love to play whether it goes good or bad, and I don't think that'll ever change.
We were just talking about first base. A lot of times guys are like, oh yeah, catchers, like, got to get him in the lineup. We'll put him at first base. Nothing against Nolan Shanawell, but how much harder is it to actually play a big league first base? Because you're swinging it right now. So they want you in the lineup. They want Travis d'Arnaud to play too. So both of you guys get in there, bang, your offense is better. Now if, first base opens up, or for you, is that something that dudes can just be like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll just go in and play first base. No big deal. It's just a big league game.
I definitely don't view it that way. I'd be terrified to be at first base if you threw me in there tonight. So that was definitely for Nolan to cover. If I do have an off day and I'm just sitting around, I do like going out to shortstop and just riding on Neto the entire time. That doesn't carry any weight on what I would do in a game, but it's just something fun to do. But either way, I want to be in the lineup regardless, and I hope selfishly that it's not first base just yet.
Well, understood. But DHing. So I used to have to DH too sometimes, and I hated it because when you're catching, you're involved in every pitch. What's your routine as a DH? Because a catcher, you don't have a lot of time to think about your at bats. You're like, oh man, I'm up. Oh gosh, I got to get my stuff off. Got to get my batting gloves, helmet, and my bat, and let's go. Where your DH, you're sitting there sometimes for 2-3 innings. You're like, oh my gosh, now and you have 3 innings sometimes to think about your at bat. So how do you mentally stay focused on the game when you're just a DH?
It's a real thing. It's things that I don't think people realize. It's a tough thing mentally to adjust from that. When I was younger, I used to get in the cage and take a bunch of swings, and then I would get in my actual bats that mattered, and I was a little tired. So now I'll take my bat and sit down and try to stay off the iPad and stop looking at everything, so I can keep my mind a little quiet. And then when I do feel like I need to get hot again, I'll go down in the tunnel and ride the bike for a little bit. Usually wherever I'm at. Like last night, I was hitting fifth. I'll go down there at the bottom of the lineup, or when Neto's sitting at the top, and get myself loose for a little bit, and then that keeps me pretty locked in. And staying on the top step and just staying engaged in the game helps too, as far as the mental side of being in it. So I'm just starting to get the routine now, and I haven't DH'd a whole lot in my career, but I definitely didn't expect to take this long to find a good routine.
Hey, so while we're on the DH topic, I mean, obviously this part's not fun. Your boy Mike Trout is hurt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know initially when the team brought in Jorge Soler this offseason, there were questions like, hey, shouldn't Trout get some DH time too? You know, he wants to stay on the field. And the thought process was Trout's crazy in terms of prep. He's just going to sit there or not sit there and take hundreds and hundreds of swings. So now that you get to observe, you know, your routine as a DH, can you relate to that in any way? Do you feel like there are some guys that would have trouble not taking so many swings that it can almost lead to an injury, right? Like I remember there's a few guys in the past who would get stuck with DH. They wouldn't know what to do and they would do too much.
Mm-hmm. I mean, anyone that's been around Mike knows how hard he works, and the part they don't see and don't talk about is how much he does take care of his body. So as hard as he works, he's taking care of his body just as more. And it's pretty impressive to see how much time he puts into all that. So obviously hate to see it for him. From what I'm hearing, it's not as severe as things in the past, so we'll be back pretty soon, and still around the boys, and we're still learning from him. As far as myself selfishly with that, I've definitely done that before, where I've taken a lot of swings, and I think it's been counterintuitive with what I'm doing. I know in 23, when I tore my labrum, I looked back in that off season, I was taking a lot of swings every day, man. And I don't know if it directly correlated to that. But I think that could have definitely been a factor for myself, personally. But more than that, more than my body being in shape, I think my mind being clear is even more important. So if I take more swings, I'm thinking more, and that seems to cloud my mind a little more. So now I'm learning there's a little discipline in getting away from the game and trying to do less. It's not an easy thing. Not an easy thing when I've been taking swings in the past, but it's helped me so far.
All right, one last DH question. When I see that that there's only two catchers on a roster and they're both in the lineup, one of them's DHing, my mind immediately goes to what pitcher, if they ever have to take cement feet Travis d'Arnaud out for a pinch runner and you got to come in and catch as the DH, what pitcher do you see getting an at bat first in the 11th inning when you guys are tied up?
Hands down, Tyler Anderson. That was one of the easiest questions you guys have ever asked me. TA for sure. I actually want to see it before I mean, he ends his career or goes somewhere else or whatever it is. Or I hope he stays with us long enough where he is getting plenty of at bats for us. But I definitely want to see that at some point.
Logan, is the reason you DH last night because you started a game a week ago at 6:29, and then you guys had to travel to Minneapolis and all over the country, and everyone complained about that? I mean, is that why you have to DH more, because you're still tired from that trip? Which, by the way, was complete crap. So you can answer it. I know how you have to answer it, but as a former player, that was crap.
I don't see any correlation to that from last night. Yeah, it's things outside of our control, and yeah, I mean, it's outside of our control, and we learn with it. And I'm a big believer in doing things that make you uncomfortable. I think you come out better on the other side of it. I think that was a good opportunity to practice that, and yeah, we got a good schedule going forward.
Yeah, no, you should never have to do that again. Just I'll say it. You should never have to do that again. Okay, so that's it. We'll move on. Are you and Neto the core of this team going forward? I know you're going to throw Shanawell in there, but you and Neto are off to great starts. Are you guys the core? And when you guys kind of look at each other as shortstop and catcher, and you think like, we're going to be here for the next 10 years and we're the face of the Angels going forward?
Neto's my guy. We do understand that we have plenty of guys in that clubhouse that have been doing a lot longer than we have. So it's definitely their clubhouse to run. Don't get me wrong. And we're still learning from them. I know we're in, year 3 now. So we're still learning and still trying to come into our own and take control of our careers. But that's my guy, man. I love playing with him, love spending time with him off the field, and wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
When you have a dude that you got to back up, he hit the dinger off of Skubal the other day, and Skubal struck him out, and he had his words. We saw the kind of altercation. Did you look out there and did you kind of like stand by Neto and go, can you get somebody a little bit smaller than Scuba? Or are you like, nah, like, I'm good. I got this guy.
I'll back up my boys, whether I think they're right or wrong, and doesn't matter who's out there. I think Tarek would say the same thing. So it was one of those moments where, two competitors got a little hot, and I'm going to back up my boys regardless.
Hey, are you happy that Wash said no more team meetings? Are you happy? Because Wash's meetings are pretty funny. I played for Wash. His meetings are pretty funny. So sometimes you just want to have a meeting with Wash to hear what his vocabulary might be.
Oh, I've sat in Wash's office strictly so I can leave there with an expanded vocabulary and some content for sure. So I don't think the one-on-one meetings with me and him will ever end. I definitely have my journal open and want to keep making some notes of things he's saying. I enjoy my time with him a lot.
Don't let your mom read some of them notes.
No,
your mom
no,
read
no.
some of them notes, okay?
Not at all. No. Dad maybe, but mom absolutely not.
Yeah.
He's got some choice words. Logan, I want to ask you about a couple pitchers. I'm going to start on a side where it's been a tough watch and a tough struggle for him, whatever we want to call it. Some fans have asked about Reed Detmers, right? You've caught him, you had about a week ago, the back-to-back appearances where things didn't go well for him. I think that was the first time in his career also, I mentioned this the next day, that he ever pitched and then pitched again, especially in a major league game. This guy's been a starter his whole life. So what are you experiencing, as somebody that's a similar age? This is a guy who was a big-time prospect, and he's had ups and downs so far and hasn't totally found it.
Yeah, it was a week ago when he came back to back, and before that he was shoving. I don't know what the numbers were, but I'd imagine they were unbelievable. Just catching him, you're always confident when Det comes in, and it's been 2-3 appearances where he's struggling, and one thing I'm learning in my big league career now is that 1 or 2 weeks feel permanent when you're in it, and he just is going through one of those times right now. We're not worried by any means. We know what he's capable of doing. We know how hard he works and all he does to hone in his game and really dial in what he has. And I know when he toes the rubber, I'm confident what he can do, and definitely looking forward to watching him get back to what he's able to do.
When did you find out that Oh, go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Kratz. I had 2 pitchers. I wanted to do the other one real quick. Jose Soriano. I just feel like he hasn't been mentioned much on a national scale, right? You guys are playing late games. Team hasn't been in the playoffs the last several years, of course. So give us the goods on Jose Soriano and how damn good he is, and how if someone sees him on the ledger, right, for a night game, or maybe the Angels are on the East Coast, for fans like that, they should check him out.
I'm excited about this. I'm happy you asked me about him. This guy's stuff is unlike anything I've ever seen, really. Like, the sinker's unbelievable. The secondary pitches are all good. He's starting to develop the split even more. It's fun to catch him, man. He has 4 weapons that he can throw at any time, and he's a good dude to work with too. And he's open to different ideas, and also knows what he brings to the table and what he wants to do. So he does not get enough credit, and he doesn't get enough recognition. I don't know what it is, the late games or whatever it may be, but it's a fun one when he's on the mound, and I think it's one people should definitely take more note of.
2-part question here. 1, when did you find out that the strike zone buffer zone was shrunk on you guys? And 2, how much does that change your livelihood? Because people don't realize catchers get paid for framing. It's not just a value you bring to the team, it's how you're evaluated. And how much has that changed your framing and everybody's framing numbers and value?
Yeah, this is a very real thing. And I've talked to umpires about it and trying to work with them. I've pretty much revamped what I'm doing behind the plate, to be honest with you, and that's been within the last week or 2. And this is a big reason because of it. I don't know how much you guys have spoken on it yet, but I know that the buffer zone that umpires have dropped down 1.25 inches from what it used to be. It used to be 2 inches. Now it's 3/4 of an inch around the zone. That makes a big difference for people that, haven't been back there catching, that know what it's like. It's tough, and I don't know how much the ABS in spring training have to do with it or whatever, but these umpires are good. Like they know there's a big difference. Like if there's a change like that, then we notice it. And to answer your question, it has been tough on me, to be honest with you. Like coming in after games, I feel like I'm catching some balls well, and we're not getting certain calls in certain situations, and um it does drive me nuts. Like I've been coming home a lot of times, even if I have a good game at the plate and I know that there were a couple balls on the edge that we could have gotten. Like it's keeping me up at night, and then you just keep going down the different rabbit holes of what come with that, and you try to make different adjustments. And I was definitely pretty relieved to hear that the umpires are getting graded differently. And I don't want this to come off as a knock against them. I think it's actually impressive that they've made this change, and not only have they made it, but as the league, you notice that it's been smaller. So I think it opens up more conversation with them too. I mean, I always like talking to the guy behind me. I just enjoy that interaction. I enjoy that part of the game, and it's definitely been a topic that I've been trying to work with these guys to make myself and the staff better.
Okay, Logan, let's go to some a little more enjoyable. I know that you love talking to umpires, okay? So you're from Long Island. I'm from Long Island. We had Steven Matz on the other day, who's also from Long Island, all right?
Mhm.
He tried to quiz me. I ruined his quiz when I got all the answers right. He was disappointed that I
Gross.
knew so much
Okay.
about Long Island, okay? He said the best deli on Long Island is Seaport Deli. Have you ever been to Seaport Deli?
I've been to Seaport Deli. I
Okay.
can back that up.
Okay. Now,
That
the
place
question
is
is, there's a Steven Matz sandwich, there's a Jacob
Mhm.
deGrom, there's a Daniel Murphy, but there's no Logan O'Hoppe. How do we get a Logan O'Hoppe on the Seaport Deli menu?
I went in the 23rd round, man. They don't want a 23rd rounder sandwich on that damn board. Are you kidding me? No, those
All
are
right,
for the guys who win the first couple.
So when you make the All-Star game, they're going to be like a 23rd round with an All-Star
Yes.
game selection. We don't want to have him a sandwich. And if you could make a
Oh,
sandwich,
man.
what would it be? If you could make one, what would it? I mean, the Steven Matz is chicken cutlet, jack and cheddar cheese, bacon, lettuce, tomato, pepper house dressing on a toasted garlic hero. So what would a
Mhm.
Logan O'Hoppe sandwich be?
It would be pretty close to the DeGrom. I think. Do you have the menu in front of you, or
I'm looking
was
at it
that
right
just
now.
the max?
No,
Well,
I'm
can you
looking
read
at
off the DeGrom for me? Because I think that's the one I always go with. It's a lot, but it's
chicken
unbelievable.
cutlet, roast beef, melted Munster, onion rings, lettuce, tomato with ranch and chipotle dressing on a toasted garlic hero. That is a lot.
Yeah, I make sure my day is done when I have that. But whenever I do get it, it's unbelievable. I haven't gotten that far on what I thought would be on mine, but hopefully we can take that up with the boys at CAA after the season. Who knows?
I mean,
I
okay,
can
because like
hear
Daniel
you.
Murphy's boring. His sandwich is boring. Grilled chicken breast, you know, you got to go something crazy. If they're naming a sandwich after you, we got to go big.
No doubt, no doubt. I got to put some more thought to that. But that DeGrom, though, I mean, you'll be on the couch for the rest of the day, but it is unbelievable.
Logan, I can hear you getting fatter just by talking about that food. Look at AJ. AJ has grease running down the side of his mouth
wish.
right now because of that. You got it. You
That's
got it.
awesome. I grew
I'm
up
gonna
in a
be
house
out.
where my parents always say, if you leave our house hungry, it's your own damn fault. So we like to eat, and we get after it in the kitchen at the O'Hoppe house for sure.
I'm gonna be out island a couple weeks, so I'm gonna stop by. Tell them I'm coming by
All
for
right.
dinner.
All
Right?
right.
You're
It'd
not
be more of a
going there
lunch,
hungry.
but tell them I'm stopping by.
You will not
No.
leave hungry, I promise you.
Well, I want to finish with this. That was probably the best preparation that I've ever seen from AJ. I mean, he had the menu ready with all of the ingredients. That's the good stuff. I am very
That
proud
was
of
impressive.
my co-host. Yeah, he had it ready.
No, because listen, we had Matt's on the other day. One of my good buddies is from Long Island also, and he texted me. He's from kind of where you guys are, the same area, and he says,
Mhm.
"Oh, Seaport Deli, that's my favorite." And then he sent me the menu, and I sent it to you guys. If you remember, Scott, if you'd ever check your phone, I sent it to you guys, and I was like, "This is pretty awesome that this is what's on the
Mhm.
menu."
You can get anything there. It's unbelievable.
We'll tag him. We'll have a little talk. We'll get the O'Hoppe on the board. Logan,
I
good
appreciate
chat,
it,
man.
fellas.
Yeah, good catching
Yeah,
up, dude.
thank
We
you.
love this.
I appreciate it.
Talk soon, dude.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
If you want to be bougie and have your own personal shopper, Hungry Root is actually the spot, and you can do it at an affordable price.
Yeah, without a doubt. And especially with my busy schedule with kids on the run all the time, baseball, gymnastics, I need a source that's going to get me going and my kids as well. So I'll pop in an easy chicken parm or grilled chicken, put it in a nice container, get it to go, and the kids are excited, and they're full, and they're nutritional, and it's ready to rock for their games.
There will be snacks that you have never heard of that you will immediately fall in love with. They will pick them out for you if you want. Obviously, you can go on there. You pick all of your preferences. Hungry Root gets the job done. Okay, FT fam? We love Hungry Root. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for a limited time. 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life at hungryroot.com/FT. That's code FT. hungryroot.com/FT. Code FT for 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. The code is simple. It's 2 letters, FT. Well, the Pirates are the theme of the day, so I don't want to overlook how much shit has gone on for this franchise in the first 6 weeks of the season, because sometimes even during their tanking rebuild days, they'll start 12-8, people will get excited, and then I'll kill their hopes. But this time around, I mean, the on-field product's bad. They're switching the manager. I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. They had the Roberto Clemente wall issue, the steps or whatever that was, the bricks that they messed up. And then the latest, you got to Google it. We're not going to show it, but there was a big fight with an employee and some fans that seemed like they were getting out of hand. And that's going to turn into some type of lawsuit or something. And it was pretty bad. I don't know all the context, but AJ, it is piling up. They have had a season's worth of chaos in 6 weeks.
Did you talk about when the owner walked through the stands on opening day? Did you mention that one? And then sell the team and all that? You forgot about that one. But the guy fell over the rail, and I mean, wow, it's been a rough start for the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. So I don't know. Maybe the Steelers will be better if they traded George Pickens to the Cowboys. I don't know. I just don't know what there is to look forward to in Pittsburgh, because especially on the Pirate side of it, the stadium's great and it's wonderful and it's got great views, but they messed up the Clemente sign. I mean, it's just one thing after another. And at some point you got to change something. And I don't know what that is, but we all know what they say, where a fish stinks from.
In the weeds, I'm excited about this one. Nice and simple. We've got 2 guys who watch the game every day, who are on the show every day in Kratz and AJ, who both were catchers for a long time in their professional careers, and they're watching catchers now, and I want a top 5. So, AJ, you can kick this off. Top 5 MLB catchers right now. Who do you have?
Well, are we starting at 5 or are we starting at 1?
Let's go 5-1.
Okay, 5, I have William Contreras. He's went to the Brewers and become really good. Defensively, improved himself monumentally defensively. And offensively, he's always been able to hit. Handles the pitching staff, been to the playoffs last couple of years. So 5 for me is William Contreras. And I find it funny that producer lady asked me, I just wrote Contreras, and she asked me if it was Wilson or William. I'm like, Wilson doesn't catch anymore, so we can't count him. But
come on, producer lady.
I mean, seriously, come on now. All right, so then at 4, now, I thought this guy would be higher, but he's getting a little bit older. He's slowed down just a little bit, and that's JT Realmuto. I love you, JT. You're as athletic as it all gets out. You do everything great. But as we get older, we know what happens. You slow down a little bit, you're still unbelievable. I wish I could be half as athletic as you have been. 3 was the guy we just had on, Logan O'Hoppe. He's off to an unbelievable start this year. He's raking, and he's kind of just leading that team. I know the Angels aren't doing the best, but I love where he's at in his future. 2, Will Smith. He's hit his whole career, and the thing is, he's already got a World Series under his belt. So Will Smith is 2. And then 1, Cal Raleigh. Platinum Glove, leads the league in homers. Leads the league, tied with Aaron Judge. Leads the league in home runs as a catcher. It's unheard of. So that's my top 5. I'm sure there's somebody in there people say I missed, but that's where I'm at right now.
That's a good-looking list. I'm excited to see where Kratz differs. And I know there's going to be a little Philly bias in there without even looking at the list. You know, Kratz watches games every day. He's super smart, but you've got your little troll list that's just waiting to pounce on wherever you put JT Realmuto, Kratz.
For sure, because and I like that. I liked where AJ put him, and I appreciate his view. But I'll get to him when I get to my number one catcher because he's still the BCIC. Okay, BCIB, not BCIC. Best catcher in baseball. But number 5, I have my other hometown favorite, Salvador Perez. Salvador Perez has not been a Gold Glove candidate for a while. Ever since the framing metrics really became a thing and it was not necessarily like, all about the throwing anymore, Salvador Perez's value behind the dish got kind of just a little bit above average instead of Gold Glove year in and year out. So Salvi, because he is the best hitting catcher, and he's currently, in my opinion, the only current catcher that is on a Hall of Fame track. So that's why I had to put him in there. And he's my good friend because of the way he talks. William Contreras, all the things that AJ said. He's in the MVP voting the last 2 seasons. Like, you can't not have a guy like that on your list. Will Smith, I agree, he could be 2, but I have someone else at number 1 than AJ has. Will Smith is like one of the most boring, productive catchers of all time. He gets back there almost every day. He is a World Series year in and year out. He's playing an extra month than some of these guys on this list are playing. So what he does back there is crazy. The fact that he had the season that he had last year with I think it was a foot injury or an ankle injury that he was playing through, whatever it was, he was playing through that. This dude is the quiet anchor of that team because they already have 3 MVP candidates. He's just kind of like, cool, I'll just go out and do what I do. Big Dumper is not number 1 on my list because JT Realmuto's Cavs are ridiculously awesome. And until somebody comes along with a game that is more complete than JT's, I'm going to have JT at the top of the list. Did he start off slow this year? Yes. Is he down from where he was last year? Yes. Who else on this list has a better arm, can steal bases, also has been to the World Series, hasn't won it yet, so Salvi and Will Smith have him in that sense. Hits for power and just perfect smile.
Wait, so let me get this straight.
How do you have Salvador Perez? How do you have Salvador Perez? And I love Salvi. First of all, he's never been on the show, and he's your good friend, so that's weird. Second of all, he doesn't catch all the time anymore. They have a better catcher, and this is not a knock on Salvi. He's the second best catcher on their team behind Freddie Fermin. Freddie Fermin as a catcher is better. Salvi plays first and DH a whole lot more than he catches. And how do you not have O'Hoppe on there after what he's doing this year? Plus, he's a friend of FT. You would think that he would definitely, and listen, no offense to JT, but right now, how can you look at Platinum Glove and leading the league in homers as not, and catches every day? Cal Raleigh catches every day.
So does Patrick Bailey need to be on there because he was in the running for a Platinum Glove too? Like Patrick Bailey's not on either one of our lists.
He doesn't hit because he doesn't hit.
Okay, but how many years have all these guys done it compared to how many years Salvi's done it? Is he catching as much? No. Is Joe Mauer a Hall of Fame catcher or is he a Hall of Fame player?
Oh, we can argue about that all day long if you want to argue.
So there you go. So that's where.
Come on. But we're talking right now. We're not talking 5 years ago.
Well, I mean, if we're just going by the hottest players in baseball right now, I don't even know that William Contreras should be on there because he's not having a great start to the season. Like, to me, it was an overall.
There's Salvi, though, if you look at his numbers. So you can throw Salvi in that list, too.
It's overall who are the best catchers in the game. To me, I could not put Salvi in there.
If Cal Raleigh got calf implants, would he vault to number 1? Because you said JT's got the calves. My biggest gripe is that when I'm doing right now, sure, you want to look at the first month and change of the season. Okay, but that's not enough, right? You're going to look back at the last year, maybe 2, and you're also trying to project forward a little bit as well. So it's a tough case. I mean, Cal really only is missing one category, and yeah, he's not going to steal bases for you. Besides that, it's hard to not look at him and think that he's the best overall catcher in the sport right now. The defensive metrics love him. He has been a beast at the plate. he has been a much better hitter than JT over the last year and a half.
Okay. Year and a half, yes. Who's had a better career so far?
But we're not doing career. If
Oh,
we
I
do-
didn't.
if-
Let me check the text.
Then it would be Salvi if you want to go full career. So then,
Okay, so
Yeah.
I weighed everything.
okay.
You can't just
Okay.
give somebody an ace status as a pitcher because they had one unbelievable season. They don't just become an ace. You guys asked me to rank the catchers in the game right now. Yes, tongue in cheek, the whole calf thing with JT is funny business. But to me, over the last 5 years, full out production at the plate, I still had JT up there. Is he? Am I going to argue that he's maybe going down right now, and Cal is going up? Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I could listen to that argument, but maybe I looked too broad at this. William Contreras is going up. His last 2 years, he completely changed. You know, he went through the Milwaukee Brewers catching instructional camp, and he's improved his defense. To me, it was already there. He was athletic. I don't know that he cared too much. Now he understands the value for him as a player. Probably he started putting more into it. And to me, JT has come over to the Phillies and been something that is so hard. Like, teams don't trade for a guy at that status and then him come in and get the production that he's had. To me, I just feel like his overall game, while it may not be as good currently today as some of the other guys on this list, the overall package is higher.
I'm going to do this.
Was higher.
Okay, that's fair. I get it. You can have different parameters.
I'm going to put Yachty on this list, Joe Mauer. I'm going to go Thurman Munson. I'm going to go Johnny Bench. I mean, if we're going Pudge was. I mean, there's a lot of guys. If we're going this is current.
Wait. Okay, I'm going to do it this way.
Yogi has, 10 plus rings. I mean, you can throw him in there. We could go all the way back to like some guys that a lot of people in our chat have never heard of or on TV have never heard of for catchers. I mean, there's a lot of people if we were going
Let me see if I can sway him here, AJ, because this is a rare moment where you and me are agreeing and we're going against Kratz. Ready? This year, right now, you have a team. I'm going to give you a catcher just for the rest of this season.
Salvi got a hit, so just to make you happy, Kratz. You doubled in a run, so there you go. Just because you heard you.
Oh,
don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about 2026. Right now, you do not have a catcher, and you're a fringe playoff team. Who do you want on your team for the rest of this season? One player.
I think that's easy. I think you take Cal Raleigh. I think you take Will Smith. I think you take William Contreras. I think those are your top 3 choices.
Okay. So basically what we're determining here is you're going off a lot of track record and accomplishments versus present and projecting forward.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. Next time, we're going to all align. When we do rankings on current players, who do you want? Give me your guys right now. Who do you want on your team? That's the right now to me.
Okay. Can you guys please send your top 5 catchers in the game for today's show? Didn't say right now. Didn't say currently. Didn't say build a team around them.
In the game ever? Come on. You're playing.
I mean, please send your top 5 catchers. I mean, we're starting with like Bench and Pudge and some of those guys
So
before we get to anybody on that list.
Maybe you guys did it wrong then. Maybe we're all 2 of us are wrong. Since Scott didn't do the list.
It's hard to argue that Cal Raleigh's not the best catcher in baseball right now. I'm sorry. There's really no argument you can make, except for Kratz didn't put him at 1. So
yeah, I didn't necessarily disagree. It was more of a opinion of it was semantics. How about that?
It was semantics. It's Kratz. Kratz did a little Skip Bayless on us, and it works sometimes. Because you got me riled up. Is that the wrong comp?
That's a bad comp.
Who do you like?
I did it based on my parameters. I mean, he does it based on trying to get clicks for something. I'm not trying to be stupid. I'm trying to base it on my parameters.
Okay, fine. All right. Well, anyway, if you're watching this after the fact, let us know your list. I know I got some shout outs on others that people liked. Most of the other ones that were shouted out, I don't really think they have a case for the top 5 right now. Ivan Herrera, Austin Wells, Carson Kelly. To me, a lot of the names that were thrown out there are recency bias. It's a month.
I really do think there's a 5 or 6. If you want to take Salvi out of it, I get it. He doesn't catch as much or whatever. I think that top 4 or 5 guys, and then there's a stark drop off. I really do, because other guys do like one thing. I thought Jonah Heim was going to be. I thought he was going to be vault himself into that top 5. He had a down year last year, but before that, I thought he was going to really start. His batting average went up. His power was always there. Switch hitting catcher who plays every day. Gold Glover. Then they took away him playing every day, bringing in Higashioka, and his batting average has kind of been down for the last year and a half here. But to me, I thought he was going to be a guy that would vault himself. But I really think that 4 or 5, and then it's a big drop.
Do you guys notice one name that was missing from both of your lists who is a pretty big deal?
What division?
AL East. Pretty big name.
Adley. I thought about that one, but he's had a bad year, like a full bad year from June almost to June again. And that's if he would have stayed on the track he was on, he probably would have been 3 or 4. But like Logan, who, again, maybe a little biased because he's on our show a lot, and I really like him, and Long Island got to stick together. But he's on a track like this, right? Adley has not been on that track. He's almost, like, I hate to say this because I love Adley, but he's kind of like flattened and that's why I know he's a name that, gosh, if you would have done this a year ago, he would have been probably 1, 2, or 3 for everybody.
If we go back to just the other day when we picked our top 3 guys to start an organization with, I picked Adley. When I was doing this, I was thinking about it, and he has intangibles at the catching position that I think are awesome. And I think, he can still get back. He's still a young player. The position doesn't allow you to be young forever. You age quicker. I don't think that's his issue, but it has really, just like AJ said, if it was this time last year, I would have taken Adley. I definitely would have. I mean, just the other day, I took him in, started first 3 guys that we're gonna start an organization with.
They're not making life easy on him. He's got to catch a crap rotation right now. You got to catch a rotation with like a 6 ERA. It's got to make you depressed when Logan O'Hoppe is losing sleep over missing a borderline call, and Adley's like, damn, we're supposed to be a playoff team, maybe a division winner, and this rotation is in shambles. But anyway, that was good talk. That was good. I like that. We'll do more of those. Jair Jurrjens is supposed to join us soon, former big league pitcher. We'll talk to him about his world travels and the state of pitching right now. FT fam, we're excited to introduce you to Rowback with the subtle dog logo and 2 stripes on the back of every product. Kratz, what are you rocking for us?
I'm rocking the polo, which never feel like a t-shirt until now. Out on the course, I'm going to stay cool, and as much as I sweat, I won't be wet.
Use the code FOUL on rowback.com for a generous 20% off your first purchase. That's FOUL on RHOBACK.com. 20% off all shirts, hoodies, polos, and more with the code FOUL. What's up? Hey, AJ, I know you hate wins and losses, but Robbie Ray is the first. It's me. Robbie Ray is the first Giants pitcher to go 5-0 the first 8 starts of a season since Tim Lincecum in 2010. Just wanted to give some love to Robbie Ray. That's looking like a good trade for the Giants right now. You can never have enough starting pitching depth. That was a money dump move in my mind from the Mariners a couple years ago, and it's really paying dividends for the Giants. Mariners are in a great spot, all good for them, but I was one that shredded that trade back then because I thought that the Giants picked up a guy who, when healthy, AJ, is one of the better swing and miss pitchers in baseball if he can locate.
No, here's the bottom line with Robbie Ray. Does he throw it over the plate? That's it. Throw it over the plate. If he throws it over the plate, he's really good. And that's the big thing for him right now is his walks are down. He has 23 walks in 44 innings, which doesn't seem that great. But for him, that's pretty good because he strikes out a lot of guys. He doesn't give up a lot of hard contact. So the whole key for him is throw it over the plate, Robbie. If he throws it over the plate, he's usually pretty darn good. So throw it over the plate, Robbie. You got a chance to be really good.
Throwing strikes. Shocker. On the mound, throwing strikes. His Cy Young year, he only had 52 walks in 193 innings. Other year, he was punching. He was getting 70, 80, 60 some walks. It's just too many. He's got good enough stuff to get outs in the zone, and that's rare in baseball. If you continue to do it, that's how you win Cy Youngs.
Yeah, it's a big part of the rotation for the Giants right now, so I give them credit. A couple moves that Farhan Zaidi made. This was one of them. The Lee pickup, that was Farhan Zaidi. So he's done some good things, right? You can change components of a team right off the jump, but you're still dealing with the roster that was handed to you. And right now that's working for him. Just like the Red Sox. Chaim Bloom built most of the Red Sox. For the people, all right, let's go over tipping for a moment. It comes up every once in a while. AJ, I know you caught John Boy breaking down some Nick Pivetta tipping that was going on. So what did you see?
Well, here's my thing with this. First of all, I don't know. You guys answered this for me, and I just want to know, is it okay for somewhere like John Boy to call out Nick Pivetta for tipping and go through it? I don't know, because I know I've been a part of games where I know a guy's tipping, and we don't really talk about it. And it's like it's one of those things where you don't say it because you don't. And I know this is on X, Twitter, so maybe it's a little bit different. Before I dig into this, do you guys have an opinion on whether it's okay for them to call this guy out and show everybody what he's doing before someone on a team says something?
I don't think it's an issue. I've heard you say that before, maybe in a live game. When you're calling a live game and you see it, to me, that's kind of affecting the game or I don't want to say gamesmanship, but like you're in that game. And if somebody has it on in the clubhouse, they're like, wait, what did he say? It's kind of like the whole Kenny Rogers thing where he had the pine tar on his hand and then the next inning it was gone. Like they made a big deal of it. So maybe in the game I can see why. On Twitter or something, somebody finds it, somebody tips somebody else off. To me, I don't have an issue with it. It's happening. There's guys on teams that are employed almost solely to do that. And they are pouring over video and figuring out tips from guys.
Exactly. So, AJ, I'm pretty strong on this one. For me, it's public domain, right? Like it's going on. Anyone can see it. So the best people at cracking it are, like Kratz said, guys that are getting paid to do it, and then no one finds out about it. So if I'm a pitcher, I would love for a fan to point out that I'm tipping to catch that instead of my division rival knowing it all season long or the entire league knowing it all season long.
Yeah, the pitcher's happy, but all the hitters are pissed because they're like, damn it, He sold us all out. We had something. And Pivetta obviously isn't affecting him that much because he's off to a great start. So I don't know. It's just a simple question. Now, let's get back to what actually happened on the field. It was Giants and Padres, and Nick Pivetta was pitching. Patrick Bailey was on second. Eric's sixth favorite catcher. And when he grabbed his shirt, fastball. And when he tapped his helmet like that, breaking ball. And then the pitching coach saw it and went out to the mound, like right there, grabs his shirt, tries to do the whole like, oh, nobody look at me. I'm just relaxing my arms. I'm going to go helmet here, blah, blah, blah. Oh, there we go. Well, do the arm thing. Like, come on. Like, don't make it so obvious. The catcher sees it. The pitching coach comes out, look, helmet. Oh, let's do the old stretchy of the arm thingy. I'm going to give the high target. Just kidding. Breaking ball. Pitching coach Ruben Niebla comes out and goes, we got to change something up here, brother. Changes the way he loads in his glove. Patrick Bailey can't see it, can't do the shirt, can't do the helmet, can't do the whole, nobody look at me, but everybody look at me while I wave my arms around. And then he punched him out, and Nick Pivetta walked off the mound and was like, hey, Patrick, good job. You screwed your own hitter because you couldn't get that one. So I don't know. I think it's funny, but let's not make it so obvious, Giants. Like, hey guys, look at me, right? So right here, he doesn't know what's coming. He takes a heater right down the middle. Pivetta turns right around and goes, "What you got now, bro?" Again, John Boy does a better job of breaking it down than I just did. But I don't know. Those things used to get contentious, man. If you caught a dude, I mean, there were times where I walked out to the mound, act like I had the rosin bag in my hand, and I was like, "Stop giving signs. We're gonna change them. You're gonna get someone hurt, or someone else on your team is gonna get hurt because we're gonna take care of this." And that usually shut them down for a little bit. But it's also on the pitcher and the catcher to know what's going on. So good on the Padres for changing it up, but bad on the Giants for just making it so damn obvious.
I mean, Patrick Bailey was the one part of the video. It's definitely worth going back and watching for everybody who hasn't seen it. He's like trying to look over when he was holding his glove. Like he wasn't trying to hide it at all. Like that's why I love getting on second base. I rarely got on second base, but when I did, I love like moving around and like getting people to think. If you can get the catcher, because we didn't have mound visits most of my career, get the catcher to come out to change the signs, you kind of did your due diligence. You did your gamesmanship. I just think it's something that is part of the game. And when guys would be like, "Hey, we're going to hit somebody," like AJ's talking about, okay, we'll hit somebody. Then we got somebody on first. Like, it's always going to happen. You're going to change your signs, and then they're going to try to relay them again. You're going to change how you're moving your feet. It's part of the game. It's not just, hey, throw the ball. Hey, catcher catches it, throw it back to the pitcher. There's stuff going on all the time, and that's when you see young guys, the game's speeding up on them because they're not seeing everything. All they're seeing is throw the strike, catch the strike.
And from a fan perspective, that's fun. For early May ball, that's fun. Keeps things exciting in a game that otherwise, could be ho-hum during a regular season. Hey, there's a long season kind of situation. It's fun to pick that stuff out. So that was good. That was fun. All right, let's get ready for Jair Jurrjens joining us next. First off, let's look at the BetMGM free game of the day. So you go into the BetMGM app, and as long as you're logged in, you've got a funded account. Tonight's game is at 7 o'clock Eastern time. It's the Phillies and the Rays. I think, wrapping up their series on the BetMGM app. So make sure you check that out. That actually flows right into Wednesday's lock. Since I picked the Phillies to beat the Rays, they beat the crap out of them. Pap gets the dub with the Tigers, although it wasn't easy against the Rockies. They get a couple runs on them late. And then look at Cam getting his parlay going with Detroit winning and that game hitting the over. AJ, what did we have here?
We lost both of them, actually.
All right, good. So
the home run, I forget who hit the home run in the ninth off Chapman, first pitch. It was at 9, and then someone hit a home run to make it 6-4. And then Baltimore, Minnesota left 72 people on base, I think, in that game, and didn't even score runs.
Yeah,
it was like every inning, it was like first and second and third. Like nobody could score, but it's okay.
So if you faded that lock, you did okay. Here's where we're at. Cam's up 220, Pap's up 21, I'm down 8, AJ's down a lot, and Kratz is down a medium amount. So let's get back on track here. AJ?
All right. Well, we're going big. We just had Logan O'Hoppe on. I love him. Strong Island, Long Island stick together. I'm going over 1.5 total bases, runs, RBIs. So then I'm going Detroit, Colorado, first game of the doubleheader, over 10 runs. And then I'm going Jesus Luzardo, over 17.5 outs, which means he has to go 6 innings. Against the Rays offense has been kind of not very good lately. So I like his chances. That gets me to plus 569, betting 200. We'll be right back here shortly, fellas.
Ooh-wee.
How much are you throwing down?
200.
What about, why not go 5? And then you basically are back to level.
Yeah, but then I'll be down 5,000, Scott.
No, 500. 500.
Okay, producer lady, He talked me into it. 500. It's Kratz's
Let's
money
go.
anyway. So who cares? Let's go.
I'm
Come
around. I'm
on,
around
man.
tonight. AJ, I'm gonna lock in to what you've got here. If you're putting down
A lot.
5,
I just need Logan O'Hoppe has never gotten a hit off Chris Bassett, so I'm going to need him to lock it in.
or the bullpen.
Plus, he went 0 for 4 last night, so he's due.
He's due. All right, 500 to get you basically back level. Whatever 5 times 569 is.
I'll be in the pluses.
Yeah.
Barely.
Here comes former MLB All-Star Jair Jurrjens joining us right now on Foul Territory. Jair, great to have you on the show. How you doing?
How you guys doing? A pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, of course. Tell us what you're up to, first off, in life. You're kind of a renaissance man. You're a world traveler spreading the game all over the world, which is really cool. So give us the
I'm
lowdown.
in Lincoln, Nebraska right now, trying to get ready for season here. If you guys know, I'm a part of a co-ownership with Baseball United, and my other co-owners are playing. Then they forced my hand to go play this year. We're gonna have our first season this November, December in Dubai.
Okay, so every time that I ever played for Team USA from 2009, and then again in 2019, there's Jair. Like, who else is gonna Sherendel DeCaster and Jair Jurrjens?
We don't age.
How-
We don't age on the island, Kratz. We don't age.
That's what I was gonna say. Is it the island life that keeps you so young? Is it the island life that makes you say, you know what? This game has given me so much. I would just want to stay in it as long as I can.
You know, whenever you have a chance to play with your childhood friends, and right now, if you see the Netherlands team, we are going through a drought right now in talent. Then every time you have a chance to put your flag on your chest, I think you're gonna try to keep putting the uniform on for them to keep have you in mind and give you that chance to represent your country.
I like that. It's cool. All right, so tell me what the game looks like to you right now. Okay, the state of pitching in baseball. What do you like?
Oof.
What do you not like? Even it's crazy, right? You haven't been out of Major League Baseball for that long, but
Yeah.
I can just do two simple things. Injuries have ticked up, and they're kind of turning pitches into video games where it's like, hey, let's analyze, you in high-speed cameras and tweak a grip, and all of a sudden you've got a new pitch.
The thing that changed for me is the IQ of pitching. I think right now most of the pitchers are just thrower. They're not really trying to read the swings. They're just trying to blow every pitch by the hitters, overthrowing everything, even the breaking ball stuff. And is one is getting the numbers of injuries up. Two is taking the value of a starting pitcher down too, because now back in my days, going seven was an honor and something that was must do. Now five and dive, and the guys are acting like they throw a complete game. I think for us to enjoy these big arms a little bit more and not be going to the ER so much. We gotta, I think, focus a little bit more of the art of pitching than throwing.
How do we do that though? Does it start at the lower levels? Does it start in the minor leagues? Does it start in little league? I mean, Curacao for all those years would Profar and all those guys were running to the Little League World Series every year. So does it start down there, or does it have to start in college, high school, minor leagues? Where do we start making a change?
Oh, that's a good question, AJ. The way the game is, what the game is promoting, and what all the coaches is teaching these days, velocity. You know, and in Little League, you get away with blowing by kids with fastball only. You really don't need to learn how to pitch. But I think when you start getting older, like getting to the high school and college, I think the pitching coaches and all those instructors out there need to start like putting in some more how to set up hitters, see what hitters are showing you as a pitcher, and I think give them the information that staying in the game is more fun than just throwing five and dive.
Can you teach that? I ask a lot of ex pitchers this. Can you teach that? Because if not, then the dudes that never pitched are going to keep giving them the McDonald's bouncy house balls to throw as hard as they can, and they find value in that, and teams find value. If you guys who did it and made debuts in the big leagues at 21 years old throwing strikes can't teach it, somebody else will teach something else.
I've been working in Georgia with like a former college kid, and he's going to one of those like people giving them that, like you say, the McDonald's balls to throw. And when we play catch together, I solve stuff for him quicker than those guys does. But the thing is, like you said, if the team don't see the value in doing that, it's gonna be hard. Even like we want to get back in the game and help give us our feedback and our learning experience in pro ball. But if teams don't value that, it's gonna be difficult seeing that turning around.
Okay, I want to ask you a follow up on being part owner of the first professional baseball league and a team in the Middle East. What is it like out there as far as baseball fandom? What do people know? Do they root for major league teams or individual players? Like, what is the conversation like with fans out there?
Actually, like I was surprised being in Dubai. There were more foreigner, more like Latinos, Americans, European. Then being there and having those games, that series, we had a lot of American coming to the game, especially our first showcase. They were so happy. When I finished pitching, I was walking back to the clubhouse. They keep asking me, like telling me, like, "Oh, keep bringing here. We need this. We missed this part of our culture." And like having Cano there and all the Latin American players, superstars we have on the roster. We had a lot of Dominicans, even Venezuelan kids, people coming out. It was fun. Like the first showcase, we even have like a couple of like Dominican and Venezuelan flag in the stand. It was amazing. It's different environment for sure. It makes me feel great to be able to keep growing the game.
All right, how do I sign up for this, Jair? I haven't retired. How do I sign up? I know.
Hey,
Listen, they got
text me.
lots of money. They got lots of money in
Text me.
Dubai. I'll take 2 or 3 trillion to play this year. They should have that easy.
Text me. I got you. Text me. I got you.
Listen, I've been to
Text
Dubai a
me.
few times. I love it over there. I'm happy. I travel all over. I'm happy to play.
Hey,
I mean, why not?
let's
hit a.
Let's go.
Hey, I'll hit a 6-run homer for you every once in a while, like Pablo
let's do it.
Sandoval
Let's
did.
do
I
it.
mean, come on. I'll be up there calling
let's
for the
do
money
it.
ball all the time.
No, it's and the group of guys who's doing this from the front office to the players is like they really did the due diligence picking up the players. We all know this it's a stretch by trying to bring a professional baseball league in Dubai in the Middle East since it's a cricket nation. But the last couple of trips I had going there is growing day by day, and they're excited for this end of the year.
Who's the most popular over there?
Oh, they definitely gonna be Cano. Definitely gonna be Cano. Didi is big too. All the guys who play for the Yankees gonna be, everybody knows the Yankees. It's easy to recognize them. But like Pablo's big. This is a big consul, Venezuelan consul in Dubai. He came out. You know, like I say, New York is always gonna be New York.
All right, last question. It's the toughest one. One of your countrymen, Jurrjens Profar, got caught, got suspended. Do you feel like that's something that you guys, when you were younger, were taught enough or talked to enough about, in the sense of like, how badly guys want to make the big leagues, how badly guys want to get that big contract. And, hey, you know what? You got to stay away from some of the things that could get you suspended, too.
It's a delicate situation, number one. I tried to reach out to him, and everybody takes bad news in their own way. I just tried to reach out, let him know I'm here for him if he needed to talk. Before I left Atlanta, if he needed to come over, whatever, I was there for him. But I got no response, and I respect that. He's going through a moment that I think none of the players want to be part of it. To touch base on if we get the education of what to stay away, yes, that's definitely that. As soon as you sign the contract, I think everybody goes through it, especially these days. When I signed, we didn't have a problem with this, or guys were using, and it wasn't a big deal. And then in Curacao, it's really difficult to get to those kind of medication.
Jair, we lost you, dude. I wish we had you for this one. I think it's important for the youngsters, but we lost your audio there. I think we're in bad service.
Hear me now?
Nah.
Hear me now?
I can see that you're trying, but we can't get you, dude. We lost you at the buzzer. We lost you on a good one. All right, we got it. We're gonna cut off here on the TV audience, but Jair, we'll have to have you back, man. We appreciate you. I think you can hear us, but we appreciate you coming on, man. I'd love to get into more. Cheers, dude. All right, FT fam, we'll be right back. All right, BetMGM, locks. Kratz, you're up next.
Can't believe we both kind of have the same pick. I saw Lodolo versus Schwellenbach. I went first 5. The Reds to beat, just in the first 5 innings, the Reds to beat the Braves, and it's coming out at plus 140, I think.
Mm-hmm. So both pitchers are coming off their worst starts of the season. Schwellenbach was so money to start the year. I think people have to remember how early on in his career he is, and how I just feel like there's going to be some more development here. Like, a lot of things went really well for him really quickly, but he kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know how to completely put that into words, but sometimes you haven't really hit the adversity that is going to knock you down for a little bit. So he might be in one of those stretches right now where, as a bettor, you can take advantage, honestly. I mean, plus 165 for the Reds money line, that seems insane to me, right? I mean, at least in my opinion, that's usually when a team, is a pretty heavy underdog, obviously, in a matchup where Nick Lodolo can totally dominate for 5 to 7 innings. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Reds on this one, plus 165. I see you got the plus 140 piece. I'll just throw 100 down to win 165. It doesn't mean they're going to win the game. I just feel like you're looking for value. That's a spot that I'm going to target for an upset. So we'll see what happens. And make sure you check out the Any Sport No Sweat token tonight. Obviously, baseball games are going on for a long time now, but there's playoffs. We're aware of it. So you can get on the excitement at BetMGM and Any Sport No Sweat token. And if you don't win your wager, you get a stake back in bonus bets. Make sure you check out the rules, the terms, the whole deal. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We got 30 seconds here, then we'll come back for slap hands. I was like, damn, bummer. We lost Jair at the time when I felt like it would have been a good answer there, but unfortunately the cell service knocked us out. All right, we're going full circle here. We started off the show without knowing who the Pope would be, and now we know that the Pope is, I think, a Cubs fan, even though the picture that we put here.
I don't think they know.
goes
He's
to
a
Pope of the
Villanova
White Sox
fan,
guy.
I think, though. Wasn't
Okay.
he in charge of Villanova there for a little while, the Villanova area? So he's a Villanova fan.
I mean, we've been on the show the entire
Really?
time that he's been announced, so I've done zero homework so far on the Pope.
I just know he was born in Chicago, and he worked in Peru, which if you haven't been to Peru, it's pretty awesome. Machu Picchu is well worth the visit. So, but yeah, he's born in Chicago, but he worked at Villanova, I believe, for a while. It's being reported he's a Cubs fan, but Cubs fans have been known to get in high positions and mess it up. So don't mess it up, Pope Leo the 14th. By the way, if I was Pope, wouldn't I want to take a name where I was the first? Like, I want to be the first. I don't want to be the 14th. Like, who wants to be Leo the 14th? Like, let's be Pope Scott Braun the first. Like,
yeah,
let's
but
go.
when they were kings, it was, King Henry and King whatever else.
Yeah, but that's because they were
right?
named that by their parents. They get to choose. Like, I get to choose my name. I want to be Pope whatever the first.
What would if we started FT and you got to choose your name, everybody still knew you, what name would you choose?
I mean, I'd stay with my name, Pope AJ the number 1, baby. Why would I want to be the
Let's go
14th
Pope.
of anything? Yeah,
Not
Pope
Pope.
AJ 1. Pope
That's
AJ
what you would-
1.
That's what you would be?
I mean, look at Pope John Paul. He was one of the greatest ones, but he was the second. Pope John Paul the second. You know why? Because he was from Poland.
JP2. But
Yeah,
yeah,
JP2.
AJ would love that. He would say AJ1 and no one else is allowed to be called AJ.
That's right. When we had
Everybody goes
hints,
by
we
their
could be
last
like, you
name.
could be AJ 2.
Oh, we already do that.
Exactly.
Oh,
see?
wait.
So see? Exactly.
Good. Hey, if you're watching us on TV, we will see you tomorrow for Fraser Friday. If you are watching us elsewhere, we are staying on for a few minutes to have fun. So see you in a sec. What do you have for us, AJ? I've been told you have something else.
Yeah, did you see this? The Red Sox also are getting in on the Pope mood. Black smoke
is that
originates from
real?
the Green Monster, indicating the Red Sox have yet to elect a new first baseman. That's pretty funny, dude. I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's pretty funny.
That is good. I like that a lot. That was good. I did not know. What
I love that Scott was like, is that for real? What'd you think? The Green Monster was
Scott
on
looked-
fire? Scott
he just
thought the
looked at the
Green Monster
picture.
was on fire.
There's a lot going on behind there.
Yeah,
There's
what
a lot
do you mean?
going on. There could be a
That's not
fire.
impossible. That's not impossible. Okay, so my current
Well,
apartment.
they're playing right now, so if it was on fire, you would have heard about it.
It could have been this morning. My apartment in Orlando overlooks the Orange Bowl, and at least twice I've seen crazy
The Orange Bowl?
or the Citrus Bowl.
And in
sorry.
Miami?
That's not called
Citrus
that either.
Bowl. Okay, word police, relax. It
Camping
overlooks the
called Camping World.
Citrus Bowl. Yeah, well, they don't sponsor me, so I'm calling it the Citrus Bowl. So anyway, I've seen twice that level of smoke emerging, not from inside, but right around that area and the fire department and the whole thing. So anyway,
That's when you were at the EDC, Scott, that you thought there was smoke coming out of it, but it wasn't smoke. It was something else.
that was a drone show. I don't even think it's cool for them to smoke anymore. Anyway, Kratzat's on the way out.
I mean, we need to talk about this team a little bit more often. AJ's dark horse to make the playoffs this year. And they got a pretty sick hat.
What does AJ say? Easiest over of the year.
Oh, so easy. And by the way, Salvia with another hit, just trying to back up Kratz's claim that he's the 5th best catcher, even though I don't think is he catching today?
Doesn't matter.
He's DHing
know.
today, so it doesn't count
No,
towards
he's
catching. DHing.
Logan DH last night, so doesn't count.
Molly DH. Molly caught.
Okay,
out
that
for
is
me.
not movie quality.
I don't care.